Now I will request Mr. R.K.P. Shankardass to give his concluding remarks.
President Anil Divan, Justice Thakur, everybody's friend, Ram Jethmalani, and my colleagues here with me, ladies and gentlemen, and our distinguished guests. This is an anticlimax to all that's been going on not only over the last 2 days, but in the last hour. However, I'm listed as making the concluding remarks, so I decided that I will make them, but very briefly. We've been extremely fortunate, in fact privileged, to have had the Chief Justice to open or inaugurate our conference and speak as a friend and in such articulate terms about his thoughts on what's going on in the country and what his hopes are, and the assurance about the independence of the judiciary which exists. And it was very interesting to hear him say with so much confidence that it's an unshakable state of independence of the judiciary. And we are fortunate, again, privileged, that we have Justice Thakur here today, who has spoken not only about somewhat similar assurances, but has given us something in the nature of a way forward of what is to come, and therefore why we should not be preparing for it and guiding the powers that be into taking steps. In fact, it's more of a warning, which I think it is almost impossible to ignore. I have to say that even before he spoke, I did have the feeling that although the topic for the conference was the next level reforms in the legal profession and the justice system for a resurgent India. But except for the one session we had earlier today, most of our time has been given, because of the concern everyone feels, to the independence of the judiciary and what is current news and current developments. However, I think perhaps we have to make up for time and give time to the ideas with regard to the reform of the profession itself. I have said this before, and I continue to be very concerned that certainly ethics and standards generally in the profession, unless we do much more, will begin to decline and cause us much concern, cause us disadvantages. And I do think that this is an operation that requires to be attended to urgently in the interest of the rule of law, so that the courts are helped properly, helped in a manner which is fair, which is the etiquette is observed, and as the old traditions of respect, politeness, and so on are observed and restored. And I do think that perhaps in the coming year or so, we will have some steps that we might take, both in relation to what we call continuing legal education, CLE, which is in place in many countries in the world. We now see some of it for our judges. And I'm surprised that at the moment, at least the lawyers are still a little unwilling to be part of this kind of an operation. And yet we have so many more judgments every day, so many changes in the law that we require to keep up with, case law in particular. So I'm hoping that in addition to that, I personally have always been of the view that if not compulsorily, that as soon as a person applies, as a young man who is qualified, applies to become a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, he doesn't have to go through a whole year of training, but he should go through at least 2 or 3 months of training on how to conduct himself in a court and how to be as effective and as persuasive as he can be at his very best. So I'm hoping some of these things will come and we'll be able to attend to them and shift our spotlight to reform also of the profession. I have only one other thing to refer to, and that is there's another event today which is somewhat sad for all of us who are working in the Bar Association of India, and that is that our President, Anil Divan, will at the end of the day has chosen to step down, and therefore this is probably his last appearance as President of the organization. I have to say that for us it has been really quite a fascinating period to have had the privilege and the opportunity to work with him. He's been an inspiring leader for us, a man with immense courage, which is one of the reasons why he became president, and he has continued to show that courage. And I mean courage in professional terms. He has never hesitated to speak out against any kind of dishonesty, any wrongdoing. And I must say, including, and this is rare, including in respect of judges, without worrying about what might happen. And in that sense, he has been a major corrective influence, even on our judges and our courts of law. But more than anything else, for me, he's been a good friend, and he's been a guide in many ways, although we are about the same age, but at least I think I've learned a lot from him, and we will miss him. So I ask that you give him a hand today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Kumar, thank you very much for the very nice things you have said and for your response. And may I request now Rachana Srivastava to propose a vote of thanks.
Honorable Justice Shri T.S. Thakur, respected Shri Ram Jethmalani, the living legend and doyen of Bar, and today the birthday boy. Respected Shri Anil Divan, President Bar Association of India, Shri Shankardass, Vice President Bar Association of India and former President International Bar Association, Mr. Prashant Kumar, Honorary General Secretary, Bar Association of India and the youngest President-Elect, Lawasia. Respected other senior advocates, Shri P P Rao ji, Shri K Bhat, Vice President, Bar Association of India, Shri Venkat Ramani, Shri V Shekhar, Ms. Pinky Anand, Additional Solicitor General of India, Mr. Jayasuriya, President, Sri Lankan Bar Association of India, Mr. Rajiv Datta, of Sri Lanka. Yes. Bar Association of Sri Lanka. I stand corrected. Mr. Rajiv Datta, Mr. Keshav Dayal, Mr. Acharya, Mr. Rao, Mr. Saharia, former Chief Justice, my senior colleagues at the bar, my brother and sister delegates from the bar from different states of the country, my friends at the bar, future young members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen. Since yesterday, we had been engaged in extensive, thought-provoking debate and discussions in brainstorming sessions on various topics, and have made the writing on the wall very clear that the legal profession and justice system can no longer sit complacent, and time has now come to reinforce the concept of rule of law by bringing radical changes of reform and strengthen institutions to promote efficiency, transparency, and integrity in the legal profession and justice delivery system. The discussions during the past 2 days have yielded a consensus that legal profession and justice system is now due for next level reforms for a resurgent India. Therefore, we feel that there is an urgent need to understand and analyze and draw a roadmap for resurgence of legal profession and justice system in India. That is why the theme of this convention was gearing up the legal profession and the justice system for a resurgent India. But sir, there are a couple of concerns I would like to very briefly submit. The convention has gone extremely well. Unfortunately, the ideas which come forth in the seminar in the form of wonderful presentations and discussions, there is so much disconnect on the ground that the country does not really get the benefit of all these presentations. Today we are grappling with multifaceted problems. We need to realize that we are collectively responsible for all this situation. It is the high time now that we take this seriously, because if this continues, we will be in a very serious situation. After the seminar is over, we would like to capture all these ideas to ensure that these things are actually implemented. At the end of the day, we have to strive for betterment in the long run. This is good for the country. This is good for all of us. All of us are willing to go through pains and ensure that this happens. And 10 years from now, when we speak in a seminar like this, we shall look backward and feel proud that we have transferred all these to the ground and we have done it. On behalf of all of us, I would like to express our deep gratitude to Honorable Justice Shri T.S. Thakur for his august presence this evening and delivering the valedictory address at the concluding session of our Rule of Law Convention 2014. Our thanks to Shri Jethmalani, again the birthday boy, for celebrating his birthday once again with us, and we wish to celebrate many more years like this here only. Our thanks to Shri Divan, who has not only given his guidance and support, but has kept our morale high and boosted with his presence throughout the duration of this convention. Our thanks to Shri Shankardass for his support. His presence throughout the convention gave us extra energy. Our thanks to Mr. Upul Jayasuriya, President, Sri Lanka Bar Association, for his sharing his view, which reflect the true state of affairs in the country. Our thanks are to the very special chairman of various sessions for conducting the sessions so well. We are indeed grateful to all of them from the bottom of our heart. We are also very grateful to all the speakers who spoke so eloquently on every topical subjects and the way they were delivered. Our thanks to all the delegates from Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, and Gujarat, who have taken pains to travel to attend this convention. Our thanks to future budding lawyers from various law colleges who have come in large number and have made this convention a grand success. We also sincerely thank our Honorary Secretary, Prashant Kumar, without whose effort this convention would not have been possible. A special thanks to him. We also sincerely thank all the senior advocates, my senior colleagues, friends at the bar and junior colleagues, and all other dignitaries for their presence. We are grateful to India Habitat Center for their support and hospitality. We appreciate the coverage made by the media and we seek their continued support. An event of this magnitude requires detailed planning many months in advance, and it requires meticulous execution. I would say that our colleagues in Bar Association of India have done a great job. Hearty congratulations to them. A special mention of thanks to Triveni, Priya Hingorani, Mr. Mahapatra, Mr. Chandrabhushan for their contribution for success of this convention. A special mention of thanks to our Sharma ji, whose tireless, continuous efforts are the backbone of success of this convention. A special thanks to Ram Kishorji. Thank you very much to all of you. Prashant will make some announcement.
Thank you, Rachna. The convention is now closed.
No, he wants to make some announcement.
Is there anything else?
Only some house announcements. I will request the members of Governing Council of the Bar Association of India to stay back for the meeting, which will commence at 6 p.m. It is to be held in the basement down in Magnolia Hall. Thank you.